Welcome back to another deep dive. Today, we're getting into something that, well, it might sound a bit niche, maybe a bit jargony at first, but honestly, this is one of those things that once you get it, really clicks for your financial peace of mind. We're talking about umbrella insurance. And yeah, if you're picturing like a little umbrella sitting on top of your other insurance papers, you're actually not far off. People call it insurance for your insurance. Sounds weird, I know, but it's this critical safety net. So many people don't think about it until, well, it's too late. Okay, but before we really jump in, just a quick reminder this deep dive draws heavily on material from Farhat lectures. All the content, the examples, explanations, it's all derived from the amazing accounting resources over at farhatlectures.com. So, whether you're an accounting student prepping for the CPA exam or already a professional, definitely check out the website. They've got extra practice questions, video lectures, tons of support to really hammer home today's topic. Huge thanks to Professor Farhat for letting us use this valuable material. All right, with that said, I am actually really excited to unpack this. It kind of feels like a hidden gem in personal finance. I want to figure out why this insurance above insurance thing really matters to you listening right now and how it can genuinely protect your future. So, okay, let's start right there. That core idea, insurance above insurance. It sounds a bit like a puzzle, doesn't it? I mean, what does that even mean? Insurance for your insurance. Is it just marketing or is there something real there?
That's a great place to start, yeah, because it gets right to the foundation of what insurance is for. At its heart, any insurance policy is really about risk mitigation, or more specifically, it's a risk transfer. And what risk transfer means basically is you pay a smaller note amount, that's your premium, to an insurance company. And in return, they agree to take on the risk of a potentially huge, unpredictable financial hit if something bad happens. So you don't bear that massive cost alone. Now, umbrella insurance. It takes that basic idea and adds, well, an extra layer of financial security. Its whole purpose is to step in when your standard policies like your car insurance, your home insurance, maybe even boat insurance, just don't have high enough limits. When those policies tap out, liability-wise, that's when the umbrella opens up, so to speak.
Right, so it's not a replacement, it's an add-on. Like you said, an extra layer. I like thinking of it as that supersized safety net. Your normal insurance is the first net, but if the fall is big enough, financially speaking, the umbrella is that second, much bigger net underneath, ready to catch you if a huge lawsuit or claim just punches right through your main coverage limits. It really does sound odd at first, insurance for insurance, but yeah, when you see the potential consequences, suddenly it sounds pretty smart.
Exactly. It shifts from sounding weird to sounding essential, potentially.
Okay, so we've got the what's. Now, the really interesting part, I think, is the how. How does this insurance on insurance actually function day to day? What's its main job, and how is it different from, say, my regular car insurance? The source material really emphasized one thing. It's primarily liability insurance. What does that mean in practical terms for, the average person?
That is the critical distinction. And it's where confusion can happen. Umbrella insurance is laser focused on liability. That means it kicks in only when you are found legally responsible for injuring someone else or damaging someone else's property. Key point. It does not cover damage to your own property or injuries you sustained. That's what your specific auto policy's collision coverage or your health insurance is for. Okay, liability to others. Got it. Let me give you a couple of concrete examples because that usually makes it click. Imagine you're in a serious car crash. It's determined to be your fault. The other person has severe injuries. Their car's totaled. They can't work for months. They sue you. Medical bills, lost income, pain, and suffering. Let's say it adds up to, I don't know, $3 million. Your auto policy might have a liability limit of, say, $500,000. That's a pretty decent limit.
Well, but it leaves you $2.5 million short.
Exactly. You'd personally be on the hook for that huge amount. That's precisely where a typical umbrella policy would step in and cover that gap, protecting your assets.
That's a massive difference. Is it mainly just for car accidents, though, or are there other scenarios where you could face that kind of massive liability? Because $3 million, that sounds almost unreal.
Oh, it's definitely not just car accidents.
Yeah.
And that's why umbrella coverage is so valuable. It's breadth. Think outside the car. What if your normally friendly dog gets startled and bites someone making delivery on your property? Serious injury, maybe needs surgery, can't work.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Or maybe your teenager has some friends over while you're out and someone gets badly hurt diving into the shallow end of your pool.
Oof. Nightmare scenario.
Or even something like you repost something online, maybe without thinking, and it turns out to be considered libel or slander. You could get sued for defamation. These situations where someone else gets hurt or suffers a major financial loss because of something related to you or your property can easily lead to judgments way beyond typical homeowners' liability limits. Those might only be $300,000 or $500,000. Without an umbrella policy, your house, your savings, your future wages, they could all be at risk. It's really about protecting your whole financial world.
That really clarifies the liability to others' point. And I think I remember the material mentioning something about a prerequisite. You usually have to already have a certain amount of liability coverage on your base policies, right? Like your home and auto, before the umbrella even applies. Is that the insurer saying, cover your basics first?
Yes, exactly. You nailed it. That's a standard requirement. It works like a cascade. First, your underlying policy, your auto or home insurance, has to pay out up to its maximum liability limit for that specific claim. Think of it kind of like a very large deductible for the umbrella policy. Only if the claim amount goes above that underlying limit, only then does the umbrella policy kick in. It's designed purely as that additional layer covering costs beyond what your regular insurance handles. So for instance, an umbrella insurer might say, okay, we'll sell you this $5 million policy, but you need to maintain at least $500,000 in liability on your homeowner's policy first. Okay. Then if there's a $1 million claim, your homeowners pays the first $500 and the umbrella pays the remaining $500K. It's that second tier.
Right, not a replacement and a top-up.
Precisely. And, for the amount of coverage you get, often millions, it's usually surprisingly affordable, maybe a few $100s a year.
That really puts the value proposition into perspective.
Okay, so bringing this all together for everyone listening, it sounds like knowing what umbrella insurance doesn't cover is just as important as knowing what it does.
Right.
Because like any insurance, there've got to be limits, exclusions. You don't want any nasty surprises thinking you're covered when you're not.
Absolutely right. Understanding the exclusions is crucial. And they often make you think more carefully about your overall insurance picture. So first, exclusion, and this trips people up sometimes. It doesn't cover your own injuries or damage to your own property. Remember, it's all about your liability to others. If you crash your car, damage your house, or you get hurt, that's not what the umbrella's for.
Okay, that's for your regular auto, collision, or homeowners or health insurance. Makes sense.
Exactly. Second exclusion, and this one's pretty intuitive, intentional or criminal acts. If you deliberately hurt someone or damage their property, or if the liability arises from a crime you committed, yeah, no insurance company is going to cover that.
Right, that would be problematic. Massively. It would incentivize bad behavior, and ethically, insurers just draw a very firm line there. Good luck finding any policy to cover intentional harm. And the third major exclusion area. It specifically doesn't deal with your business-related liabilities. So things like breach of contract in your business, malpractice, or errors in your professional services, claims related to workers' compensation. None of that falls under a personal umbrella policy. Those risks need special insurance, business insurance coverage, things like professional liability insurance, general liability for your business, workers' comp policies. It's a whole separate world.
Gotcha. So it's strictly for your personal life, not your professional or business activities.
Correct. It's protecting you, the individual or family, from those big, unexpected personal liability claims from other people. Not your own property, not deliberate acts, not business stuff.
Okay, that's super clear. It feels like a very specific, yet potentially life-saving kind of personal shield. All right, to really lock this in, let's try a question. This comes straight from the source material, Farhat lectures. It's a good way to check if you've grasped the core idea.
Great idea. Let's test that understanding. Okay, here's the question. Umbrella insurance is primarily designed to do what? Is it A, provide coverage for policyholders' personal property damage, B, additional liability coverage beyond the standard policy limit, C, the primary coverage for business-related liabilities,
B,
for coverage for intentional acts causing damage or injury.
Okay, let's break it down.
Let's do it. Option A, provide coverage for policyholders' personal property damage. We just established umbrella insurance is about liability to others, not damage to your own stuff. So A is out.
Right. Your own property is homeowners or auto collision.
Yep.
Definitely not A.
Option C, the primary coverage for business-related liabilities. Again, we just covered this personal umbrella does not deal with business risks. You need separate business insurance for that. So C is out.
Correct. Personal versus business. C is wrong.
Option D, for coverage for intentional acts causing damage or injury. We talked about the ethical and practical reasons why intentional or criminal acts are not covered. So D is definitely out.
Absolutely. No insurance for deliberately causing harm. D is gone.
Which leaves us with B, additional liability coverage beyond the standard policy limit. And that is precisely the definition and purpose of umbrella insurance. It's that extra layer, that top-up, for when your standard auto or home liability limits just aren't enough to cover a major claim against you.
Perfect. It really reinforces that core function. So, look, the big takeaway here seems to be that umbrella insurance isn't some weird, obscure product just for, billionaires. It's actually a really practical, potentially powerful tool for protecting your financial well being against those catastrophic liability claims, the kind that could wipe you out otherwise. It's about safeguarding what you've built.
Absolutely. And this whole discussion, I think, leads to a really important question for everyone listening right now. Have you actually looked at the liability limits on your current auto and home insurance policies lately? Do you even know what they are? Understanding those limits and then thinking about how an umbrella policy could layer right on top of them. That's really key to properly protecting your assets and your future. It's about being prepared.
That's such a great point. Don't wait until you need to know those limits. Well, we really hope this deep dive helped clarify umbrella insurance, maybe demystified it a bit, and showed why it might be worth considering for your own situation. And look, to really solidify this knowledge, maybe if you're studying for exams or just want to be more financially savvy, we strongly encourage you to head over to farhatlectures.com.
Yeah, definitely. You can find more multiple choice questions there, really drill down on this concept, help prepare for the CPA exam, the EA exam, whatever accounting or finance course you're tackling. Remember, investing in your knowledge, especially financial knowledge, is always a smart move. So good luck with your studies, work hard, and of course, stay safe out there.